Hi, I'm Shan Wu with a Undercolor of Law analysis of what does it mean that the Justice Department's Public Integrity section is gone. The Public Integrity section at Justice is a very storied section. It was the creme de la creme destination for young prosecutors who wanted to prosecute corruption. Now, that was an aspiration for a lot of us when we first started, and you might ask why. I mean, one reason actually I chose the U.S. Attorney's Office in D.C. over going to Main Justice as a trial lawyer or going to the Manhattan DA's office, which was a great love of mine. I interned there in the summer, was because I actually wanted to do street crime in D.C. You had a greater opportunity to do that. But having sort of gotten that experience, I really wanted to do public corruption. And I think that is for the same reason that many young prosecutors aspire to that. It's because people innately sense that there are two systems of justice. You see that in street crime as well. There's one system for the rich and the powerful, and then there's another one for the others, the rest of us. So when you do prosecute the rich and the powerful, because that's really the definition of public corruption, it's usually officials and leaders and such, you feel like you're making a big difference because you're actually making somebody who's rich and powerful, who has a lot of advantages and gets away with a lot of things, you're making them accountable. So I say that the Public Integrity section is a storied section. We probably, unfortunately, need to say that it was a storied section. Because as pointed out in the Maddow blog, we'll put that up for you, DOJ is slashing the staff at that office. Now, we're not just talking about like maybe reducing some people, switching some priorities there. This is an office which had a very big jurisdiction. They had dozens of prosecutors, and it's basically being reduced to maybe a handful of them. Don't know exactly who's going to be left. You know, are these just the political appointees? The Trump Justice Department seems to like the idea of actually having only its political appointees running things and going out, maybe even arguing cases. But let's examine what's actually happened at the Public Integrity section. So as the Maddow blog points out, remember, seems like a long time ago now, right? When the Justice Department decided that they were going to drop the criminal case against the New York City Mayor, Eric Adams. And the prosecutors overseeing the case did not like that idea. There were resignations. In fact, the acting U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York that brought the case resigned over that. So then DOJ was like, okay, fine. The local office that brought the case won't dismiss it. We're going to ask the Public Integrity section at Main Justice to dismiss it. Nice touch, right? They do public corruption, and it would have given them some cover because it's a section known for doing the right thing when it comes to the rich and the powerful, and Eric Adams certainly qualifies as that. Well, that didn't work out so well, right? Because people just kept resigning rather than signing off on the dismissal. I think in total 7 prosecutors all quit. So it's a little bit hard to wonder at that time, you know, how are they going to replace them? The career prosecutor who finally did sign off, supposedly signed off because he wanted to spare his younger colleagues from this really tough choice. Do I resign or do I sign this? So he kind of stood up and, according to reporting, he took the heat. Like, he'll sign it. He's a career guy. He's towards the end of his career. However, that really didn't seem to be the question anymore because now there's only going to be about 6 prosecutors left there. A former head of DOJ's counterintelligence section, David Loftman, who was a friend of mine, full disclosure, and my classmate from law school, he said that the way that they've decimated this section really raises serious questions about future investigations and prosecutions. You know, what are they really going to be motivated by at this point? So if we take a look at what does this mean without this section, and we need to understand what is the justification for getting rid of a section at the Justice Department whose mission it is to target public corruption. What's the justification here? So let's hear the justification from the new Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi. We can play this clip for you.
Well, we got rid of the Jack Smith team. That was a given, the ultimate weaponization of the government. But we also, yesterday, I fired the general counsel from ATF. You know, these people were targeting gun owners. Not going to happen under this administration. And so we're looking to hire really great people. Sitting on my desk right now are all the list of the names of the U.S. attorneys who we're going to bring in. So are we going to fix it? Absolutely.
In this clip, she's very happy to report that she's fired Jack Smith team. Not a big surprise. We knew about that. She's also very happy to report that she's fired the head of ATF, the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Agency. Now, she says she wants to combat violent crime. So why do you get rid of the head of ATF? Does she think the head of ATF was like focusing on political crimes? She says that ATF was doing something wrong. They were targeting gun owners. Yeah, maybe she doesn't understand that a street robber with a gun is also a gun owner. At this point, you sort of wonder, why aren't they announcing an investigation into former Attorney General Merrick Garland? I mean, maybe it's because they don't think he did enough damage against Trump? Just asking. One more clip from her, the Attorney General.
And we're going after these cartels. We all work so well together. All of us, all of these cabinet members, we're such a great team, and today's a great day for me because I get to swear in Kash Patel today.
She says she's fighting the cartels, working together with the other cabinet secretaries. I mean, what is that all about? I mean, are they dressing up in cosplay outfits where they go to a paintball place or something in military costumes? This all contributes to this very cartoonish, simplistic idea that Trump and his regime like to play with. You know those pictures of Trump, you know, looking like a Sylvester Stallone cutout or something, like he's Mr. Macho Man? That's what they try to use as this simplistic image, as though the individual cabinet members are some kind of warriors doing something. It's just the same idea that Musk, they like to portray as personally looking for the fraud and waste, like he's rifling through hundreds of millions of Americans' personal information. It's just a deliberate misunderstanding of how government works. If you want to get a sense of how this one little slice of the government worked, you can look at the section's website. It's still up there, that page, on the DOJ site, and you can scroll down through what they call some of their significant cases. And you'll recognize some big names here. Even former Senator and presidential candidate John Edwards was prosecuted by that section. I always like to add as a footnote, the prosecutor there was Jack Smith. But let's scroll down through here with you for a second. And some of these you'll recognize, you know, some of them you may not. But here's the point. Look at the geographical spread of these cases. There's, of course, the Federal District in D.C., there's the Middle District of Florida, Southern District of Florida, the Eastern District of Virginia, Eastern District of Pennsylvania, Northern District of California, Southern District of Texas. This goes all across the country. That's the point of it. So that when Trump and his regime says, we're getting rid of these deep state prosecutors who weaponize the DOJ, of course, they're the ones who are doing the weaponizing. You know, Trump obviously wants to weaponize the DOJ. What are they talking about? Look at the breadth of these prosecutions, the different kinds of cases that they did. How can you possibly make any rational argument that the unifying theme to all those cases was there was some kind of weaponization of DOJ? No, right? We all know that. The only weaponization that he can really talk about is he thinks is weaponization because he got prosecuted. So you wipe out in retribution this section that across the years, all across the country, all kinds of different prosecutions focused on all kinds of different officials, mayors, congressmen, senators, local officials. All of this was that variety of work that they were doing. All of that is going to get wiped out right now. And we leave ourselves with this question, which would be great to just keep pushing, have the media keep pushing this question out over and over again, which is, why would you want to reduce a section devoted to going after political corruption nationwide to only 6 prosecutors? So we'll keep an eye on that, as well as other things for you. Good to talk to you, and make sure you keep those comments and replies coming. Thanks so much for getting the Legal AF subscription up to over 500,000. Very exciting. Let's keep going with it. We'll talk to you soon.
In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.